It's 7:07 on your bigger breakfast. Now, another rainfall, some snow, another day of road closures on the A1101 Welney Wash road. Two more local MPs have now pledged their support to a campaign for better flood defences on the road, which has already been closed for more than 50 days this year. It's a project led by Stephen Barclay MP, who represents North West Cambridgeshire. He's holding a meeting today to discuss getting better signage for the road and a more long-term solution in the form of a causeway. Well, Stephen's here this morning. Morning, Stephen.
Good morning.
Is that what we need, really? I mean, we need to find the money, obviously, but we need a causeway or some sort of bridge over it.
Well, what we need is for the issue to be looked at and for us to work out a solution. And it's my colleague, the MP Liz Truss, that will host the meeting today because Welney is in her constituency, so that's right and proper. But the reason I sort of launched this was I just felt there's a bit of drift, really, that, as you said in the piece, the road's been closed for 50 days. And with the cost of petrol, it's a huge impact on those of my constituents living in Christchurch and March, in particular, but also for local businesses, the likes of the Lamb and Flag pub and other businesses in the area. And it just seemed to me that we'd almost sort of got to a point where we knew there was a problem there, but very little was happening. And I think we just need to get everyone together, have a look at it, and work out what can be done on a practical level.
As you say, it affects so many people. For the wider business community, for people right across Cambridgeshire, they have to take this ridiculous detour.
It is, and I think people that don't live in the Fens and don't know the area often don't realise what a big detour it is and how big the distance is. So really raising awareness of the problem is one of the first issues. Secondly is looking at what quick things can we do. I mean, for example, the depth boards at the moment, the parish council told me that they're out by like 6 to 7 inches. They're just wrong, and they need recalibrating. The signs, often people don't have confidence in the signs, so the road is shown as closed when actually it's passable. And so we need to sort of look at what are the quick things we can do to actually give people more confidence that when it's closed for the right reasons, and it's not closed unnecessarily. But then actually work out and be honest with people, well, what is it we need to do? How much would that cost? What is the impact on businesses, because the data we have is all out of date, and actually work out a plan for the future.
Yeah, and so for now then, we want, what is your solution? Extra signage, electronic signage?
Yeah, I think there's some quick wins. I think there's things like electric signage. I think getting the measurement right, being clear around the 2.4 trigger point. Obviously, we had the sandbags across as well this year in terms of concerns there. It's been closed even for emergency drills, although I'm told the emergency services in question didn't have the skills if there was a real-life incident to actually apply what they were practicing. So there's just my sense of it, and chatting with constituents was that there was just a bit of drift, frankly, that this issue wasn't being grabbed. And so together with my colleagues, with Liz Truss in West Norfolk, with Jim Pace in Ely, and with councillors, and particularly Welney Parish Council, it just seemed timely for us to say, let's all look at this again. Let's liaise with primarily Norfolk Council, but with the various services, and actually let's work out where we go with it. Long
term, then, if we are to build a causeway or a bridge, as some people have suggested, where will we get the money for that? Where will it come from?
Well, as we saw with the Welney Washes, before you say money, you've got to demonstrate the case. So, for example, any cost-benefit analysis that was done in the past will have been done with petrol prices at a very different point. So the first thing is to actually work out, well, what is the best solution? Is it a causeway or is it looking at better flood defences? What's the relative costs of those? And what is the impact on the local community? And my view is the impact on the local community is very significant. I mean, this is a huge... We're not talking about just a few days that this road is closed. As you said, it's 50 days. It's 1 day a week. And I just don't think that's an acceptable position for us to be in. So I think we've got to build the case. And I think if we can build the case, then obviously it's a discussion with the Environment Agency, with the county councils, with government, to actually build a case and make it.
Well, let's try and find out what impact it does have on businesses in the area. Let's speak to Gina Birch, landlady at the Lamb and Flag in Welney, whose business has been seriously affected by the flooding on that road. Morning.
Good morning.
Just explain to us how it affects you and your business.
Well, the actual road closure sign is put up before you even reach our pub, unfortunately, because it helps push traffic down the main roads. It affects our business. We've lost trade of about 60% this winter, which has obviously led to us struggling to survive, laying off staff. Just made things very, very difficult.
What would you like to see happen in the short term and perhaps the long term?
In the short term with signage, I mean, we would be grateful if Highways simply stated that our business was still open, because they don't even give us the courtesy of that at the moment. So that literally anyone coming into the village feels that they can't get to or access the pub. We are open. We're open 7 days a week, and we are perfectly accessible from anyone from the March and Wisbeach side. So for us in the short term, better signage would help a lot.
Long term?
Long term, I'm not so sure about bridges and new roads. My actual thoughts are that we don't maintain the waterways, not just here, not just regionally, but throughout the whole of the country well enough anymore. You know, when I talk to locals, the waterways had a lot more money spent on them, were being dredged regularly and looked after. And, of course, the build-up of this nationwide has just increased the problem.
Yeah, and you know, so what's happening at the moment is they're putting a sign up way before your pub and diverting people off, so they don't really want people going down there at all.
No.
But, I mean, you must have days, like 50-odd days a year when it's closed, when there's nobody in your pub.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, as I said, you know, our trade has been down 60% this winter.
What can you do? What have you tried doing?
What can we do? Well, obviously working with our parish council, and we had a push with other MPs a few years ago. There's been various campaigns, but I have to say no one's taken it particularly seriously, and we are very grateful to Mr Barclay and Elizabeth Trust, you know, that they are sort of listening this time.
So it's closed today, so what's your message to people?
We're still open, we are still here, still cooking, still serving good beer.
Well, listen, I hope we've managed to pull a few people in there for you today and improve the takings. Gina, thank you for coming on this morning. Gina Birch, landlady at the Lamb and Flag in Welney, whose business has been seriously affected, taking 60% down this winter because that road is closed so much. Your comments on that, if you live in and around Welney, or if it affects you through Ely, because the detour is horrendous when that road is closed, and you'll be doing it again today. Our resident Millman says, Paul, I believe that a pontoon bridge was erected at Welney Wash during the Second World War by the Army. Apparently, it was offered to the residents if they wanted it as a permanent bridge, but the offer was turned down, he says. I've not heard of that before. Anybody else heard of that?
BBC Radio Cambridgeshire.